1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. The President emphasizes the importance to get a head start on offshore economic law to make the port city into a financial center. The IMF calls for timely and orderly processes of debt resolution for Sri Lanka. The academic activities at the Buddhist in Pali University will resume for the first-year students today. No decision taken to suspend the fuel pass QR system from next month. The first batch of imported eggs from India is due to arrive in the island today. The central bank reduces mandated forex by banks to 15%. In international news, Israel and Palestinians pledge to reduce violence. Sport cricket. Jack Leach gives England chance of historic victory. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has emphasized the importance of young lawyers seeking to specialize in a new area such as the offshore economic law. President Wickremesinghe encouraged young lawyers to get a head start on legal areas in relation to making the port city into a financial center and emphasized the importance of taking on responsibility in leadership roles. The President made these assertions while addressing the annual general meeting of the Royal College Lawyers Association in Colombo. The head of state also proposed the forming of a committee of lawyers, especially law students who want to specialize in offshore economic law, to learn and get a head start on the new laws being contemplated. The head of state has discussed this commitment to making tough decisions for the good of the economy and the country, even if they are unpopular. The International Monetary Fund on Saturday called for timely and orderly processes and a common framework with regards to Sri Lanka's debt resolution. The island nation faced severe economic crisis which resulted in high debt. In a statement issued after the conclusion of the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting under India's presidency, IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva strongly endorsed efforts to strengthen the debt architecture and improve the speed and effectiveness of debt resolution, keeping in mind rising debt vulnerabilities in many countries. The Buddhist in Pali University in Homagama is scheduled to be reopened for academic activities today. Accordingly, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, the Venerable Dr. Neluwe Sumanawansathera, stated that the university will only be reopened for first-year students today. Earlier, the Presidential Media Division announced that the university will be closed until an agreement is reached with the Mahanayaka Theras on its academic and administrative affairs. Hence, the Vice-Chancellor of the Buddhist in Pali University announced the institution to remain closed until further notice, starting from the 19th of December. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. The first batch of imported eggs from India is due to arrive in the island today. The batch of eggs has been imported by the Sri Lanka State Trading Corporation. More than 2 million eggs have been procured as part of the first batch. Meanwhile, steps have been taken to amend the special commodity tax imposed on the import of eggs. The special commodity tax of 50 rupees imposed on the import of an egg by the Minister of Finance was reduced to 1 rupee with effect from the 21st of February. The Ministry said the tax amendments will be effective for a period of 3 months. The 57 people, including the convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Vasanta Mudalige, who were arrested on charges of riotous behavior after entering the Ministry of Education, are scheduled to be produced before the Kaduwala Magistrates Court today. They entered the ministry premises forcibly and demanded to reopen the Pitipana Buddhist in Pali University. 48 monks were among those arrested. The police said that the 57 people arrested by the police held at the Mirihana, Talangama, Kaduwala, Mulleriava and Navagamua police stations. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watchlight, the police have issued a notice requesting motorists to use alternate routes to avoid traffic congestion due to the construction of the Kohola flyover. The police says that the construction of the flyover has commenced since the 22nd of February and will go on until the 31st of May 2023. During this period, passenger buses and light vehicles can travel through the Kohola junction. However, the police have requested the general public and motorists to use alternate routes if possible. World News Headlines. Israel and Palestinians pledge to reduce violence. Final discussions due today between Rishi Sunak and Ursula von der Leyen on Northern Ireland Protocol. Nigeria vote count underway amid some extended polling. The Israeli government and the Palestinian Authority have announced a joint commitment to take immediate steps to end a surge in violence. The move has emerged from rare talks in Jordan, also attended by US and Egyptian officials. The meeting agreed to support confidence-building steps and to work towards a just and lasting peace. As the talks took place, a Palestinian gunman shot dead 2 Israelis in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli military said it was pursuing the gunman and reinforcing troop members in the West Bank, deploying 2 additional battalions. The British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and the European Commission President are due to hold financial discussions on a new Brexit deal for Northern Ireland today. The Prime Minister and Ursula von der Leyen will meet in Berkshire in the afternoon to discuss complex challenges around the protocol. The UK wants to change the current agreement, which sees some goods checks when entering Northern Ireland from the rest of Great Britain. A new deal has been expected for days. If a deal is reached, it would then be announced later today, with the leaders holding a joint press conference after the cabinet has been updated. Nigerians are still voting in a national election in a few parts of the country where technical and other glitches prevented voting from taking place as scheduled on Saturday. Vote counting was already underway in other places during the historically tight race between 3 front-runners competing for the presidency of Africa's most populous nation. Nearly 90 million voters were eligible to vote in Saturday's election, which was largely peaceful, although isolated violence, delays and technical hitches forced many to wait until the evening or Saturday or Sunday to vote. After 2 teams under President Muhammad Buhari, many Nigerians hope a new leader can do a better job of tackling the widespread insecurity, joblessness and growing poverty afflicting their nation. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Israel and Palestinians pledge to reduce violence. Final discussions due today between Rishi Sunak and Ursula von der Leyen on Northern Ireland Protocol. Nigeria vote count underway amid some extended polling. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development News.
Sri Lanka will launch a new tourism mobile app consisting of 7 languages for the protection of foreign tourists. Tourism Karin Fernando, addressing an event, said this particular app is one of the best mobile applications used in the tourism industry in other countries. The minister further said the mobile app will register all 3-wheelers and a barcode will be displayed on the vehicle for foreign tourists to scan. A 24-hour active call center will record every communication and store them in the app's database. He added that the police will have the facility to monitor the app and take appropriate action in the event of any suspicious or unpleasant incidents. Sports news. Cricket. At stumps, on day 4, England need 210 more runs to win the second test after finally dismissing New Zealand for 483 in Wellington. Kane Williamson made a faultless 132 and Tom Blundell 90 as the Black Caps ground their way back into the game after being asked to follow on. It left England needing to pull off the highest run chase by any team that has enforced the follow-on in a test, while only 3 other teams have ever made more than New Zealand, following on against England. Meanwhile, in tennis, British number 1 Cameron Norrie beat top seed Carlos Alcaraz in a thrilling Rio Open final to claim his 5th ATP singles title on Sunday. The 27-year-old came from a set down to beat the Spaniard 4-6, 6-4, 7-5. The victory comes just 7 days after Norrie, ranked 13th in the world, lost to world number 2 Alcaraz in the final of the Argentinian Open. That was sports news. On to business news.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekat life ekේ change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Boutiques in Sri Lanka, the leading organization promoting boutique accommodation experiences in Sri Lanka, will host its annual B2B Luxury Connect trade fair, Sri Lanka's only luxury travel fair exclusively for the small luxury accommodation sector, on the 21st of March 2023 at the Monarch Imperial Sri Jayawardhanapura Kotte. The event will be conducted under the theme Flair of Sri Lanka and will be an opportunity for vetted small luxury boutique operators to showcase their properties to business producers of small luxury properties. 2023 is a special year for boutiques in Sri Lanka as the organization marks 10 years of pioneering the marketing for small luxury accommodation. To mark the occasion, this year's B2B Luxury Connect will invite foreign tour operators to participate for the first time with the generous support of Sri Lankan Airlines.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekat life ekේ change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The Monetary Board of the Central Bank has decided to reduce mandatory sale of export proceeds, receipts and inward workers' remittances of the commercial banks with effect from the 27th of February 2023. Accordingly, commercial banks will now have to sell only 15% of such proceeds and receipts weekly to the Central Bank, down from 25%, which was in effect from December 2021. The Central Bank said the move was aimed at encouraging market-driven foreign exchange activities in the domestic forex market. That was economic news, and finally we take a look at the weather report.
Weather report.
The Met Department predicts several spells of showers in the eastern Uva and north-central provinces and in the Mullaitivu district. The Met Department said showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts during the afternoon or at night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Meanwhile, the general public has been requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thundershowers. To end this afternoon's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The President emphasizes the importance to get a head start on offshore economic law to make the port city into a financial center. The IMF calls for timely and orderly processes of debt resolution for Sri Lanka. The academic activities at the Buddhist and Pali University will resume today. No decision taken to suspend the fuel pass QR system from next month. The first batch of imported eggs from India is due to arrive in the island today. The central bank reduces mandated forex sales by banks to 15%. In international news, Israel and Palestinians pledge to reduce violence. Sports, cricket. Australia wins Women's T20 World Cup for the 6th time. That ends this afternoon's news broadcast.